What was the noise that just came out of my mouth there? Whoop! Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Tues Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you, the beautiful parents that have just ushered into the world their firstborn. Yes, that's right, Nick and Emma, my good Welsh friends down here. Congratulations on your new baby. I won't say their name on the internet for privacy reasons, but big love to you, you massive ledgers. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than Mwambe Cheleshe. Is that how you pronounce your name? Apologies if I've absolutely butchered that, but thank you for your suggestion of video game decisions that nobody made the first time around. And video games, when it comes to them, choices are everywhere, from how your avatar looks to which routes you go down to, indeed who lives or dies in terrifying squad-based missions. There are a lot of decisions to be made, but the problem is that some of them are weighted so badly that you're never going to pick the other option, are you? And sometimes beyond the game itself, choices are presented to you that you can't actually make the first time around. So let's explore them today. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game decisions nobody made the first time around. And you know the drill by now. Say hi to me here in the live chat and pop your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below. But with that in mind, let's get on with this list, shall we? Number 8, Pure Guts, Persona 5. So one of the most fascinating things about Persona 5, aside from its sheer hefty girth, that it flops on the table like a massive meaty dogger and just says, have a look at that, have a gander at the beast, the gargantuan length that I'm providing you, is the fact that this game, from the jump, makes it very, very clear that you are going to want to replay it again in order to see and indeed do everything. And it does this by offering you choices that you can't actually make the first go around, leaving you wondering what could have happened if you'd just been that little bit gutsier or had a specific social bond maxed out. This tease eats away at you across your near 100-hour playthrough, and come the close, you'll be firing the game back up again to see all the minutiae that have changed along the way. From being able to dodge chalk being thrown at you to being able to stand up for yourself early on, the tone shift was pretty incredible. As now, instead of playing a fish out of water, you're finally the anime character main hero that we all wish that we could be in real life. We're all just weebs in waiting. Come on, life. I know that you've taken my hair, but at least have the decency to turn me into One Punch Man. At the moment, I only make jokes. I'm One Pun Man. Oh, crap. Number 7, Renegade. I'm going to try and do this like Vegeta. If you watch we'll have a little chat. What I need to do, right, is stick a little photo of James like exactly there, so I'm always looking in the same position, because at the moment, I look at a corner of a piece of like foam, and as much as I'd like to think that James does reflect that foam in that he is very spongy and soaks up a lot of knowledge, it's not really the same effect. I can't really get the emotional gauge going on here. Does he have the emotional range of a sponge? That's a bit harsh to say that, isn't it? It is a bit harsh. He's just looking at me now. This is a bit awkward now. Hi, James. How's it going? I've got a question for you before I start launching into this next topic list bit here. Do you watch Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Do you watch Dragon Ball Z abridged?
No.
Do you know the joke, Renegade for life?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Okay, thought not.
I said yes.
But anyway, this will be funny to about 10 people then. Number 7, Renegade for life, Mass Effect 3. Now, if there's one thing that the Mass Effect series is famous for, outside of shaking that famous space booty on the dance floor, it is the myriad of choices that are presented to the player. Where did that hand come from? It was like an eruption. From who you take back to your private quarters to species that you can relentlessly over in different ways, it was possible to tread the line fantastic between being an utter bastard and pure paragon across the span of 100+ hours. However, one choice that came as a bit of a surprise to players in Mass Effect 2 was when it came to the, let's just call him passionate character of Conrad Werner. This super shepherd fanboy approaches you in the original Mass Effect, hoping that some of your legendary space tales will rub off on him, but does so in such a manner that it feels that he just wants to rub up on you for a hot minute. Therefore, you're left with a few choices in order to diffuse the situation. Some are very calm, basically just saying thank you very much, but also no, and the others just saying, or just f*** off, mate, but doing so at the point of a gun. Now, true paragons wouldn't ever draw a firearm on a fan, so will likely choose to end things calmly. However, here's the issue. The game actually incorrectly saves your response, meaning that when Mass Effect 2 rolled around, Conrad acts like you always pointed a gun at him and is understandably snippy as a result. Therefore, and I know it's a bit of a stretch considering the topic of this list, this is actually a choice that nobody made the first time around because it was only until the Legendary Edition that they fixed this, meaning that even if you picked the Paragon choice, you never actually made it. I know, I bend the rules, but don't break them. It's kind of my thing. Number 6, betraying their friends. Grand Theft Auto 5. So despite launching with an online portion of a video game that was about as stable as a house of cards on a fault line, Grand Theft Auto 5's single-player mode might actually be one of Rockstar's finest achievements. With 3 distinct characters, a ridiculous amount of content, and a living, breathing world that felt fun to explore, it was basically everything that we wanted, and then some. Still though, that didn't mean that the game was without fault, as when it came to the game's closing moments, the devs chucked up a choice that might as well have read, only pick the other options if you want to see all the endings. And the choice in question was when Franklin is given the choice to kill Michael, kill Trevor, or team up with both of them to take down their corrupt taskmasters. This section might as well have been narrated by the adults in Snoopy, the actual fun mission that everyone wants. As with all 3 characters combined taking on this game's FBI all at once, you just knew that this was going to be the epic firefight mission that would be talked about for ages after. If you chose the other options the first time around, you were basically denying yourself one of the most fun missions in the entire game. So therefore, nobody picked it. Number 5, actually listen to Pagan Min. Far Cry 4. So thanks to the rather intense conditioning of Far Cry 3, when Far Cry 4 was announced, players the world over pretty much started just gathering ammo, shells, endangered species to carve into backpacks, and because they just knew in their heart of hearts that this was going to be an even more action-packed spectacle. And they were not wrong, because as the trailers rolled out and the explosion rate doubled, tripled, and then slipped into a singularity, it was clear that Far Cry 4 was going to make the prior title feel like Stuart Bloody Little when compared to Mad Max Fury Road. That joke is specifically for James. I hope you're happy. Let's ask James. Let's ask James. Are you happy that I included that joke in a reference to Stuart Little?
I just love that mouse.
With peace and love, mate, I'll do anything for you. Therefore, fans were itching to get going as soon as the game began, and after being introduced to Pagan Min, leapt from the roof popping the Twitch haircutted fool a middle finger as they went. However, in doing this, the player had actually made, and in some ways failed, their first decision, as sitting put and having a nice meal with the Pagan actually ended in the game's secret ending. Still, it is a decision that likely nobody made their first time around, because why would you want to sit still and have dinner with this guy? You've just witnessed him kill somebody with a pen. I'm eyeing up that dessert spoon and thinking which orifice it's going in. So of course, pretty much everybody bounced as soon as the opportunity was made available. See ya! Number 4, defeating the ASYLUM demon. Dark Souls. So, in a community that pretty much refuses to show any form of weakness whatsoever, the ASYLUM demon boss from the original Dark Souls is something of a moment of pure comedy for me, because if you were to look at every single Dark Souls forum going, you'd be convinced that every player under the sun beat this thing with just their fists while blindfolded and solving the world energy crisis. But that's simply not the case. Yet we all know the truth that every single player who went toe-to-toe with this gargantuan gatekeeper got stepped on so hard that the Resident Evil Village community reached a climax, and were subsequently stuffed inside the demon's fat folds. Now, whereas some players who might have watched others perform runs of this game or checked out walkthroughs online beforehand might know to head to the door within the arena, there is no doubt in my mind that the hard-coded gamer mentality of, yeah, I can probably take that, saw countless deaths at the hands of the ASYLUM demon. It was likely only after being smushed into the ground like a fleshy tent peg that the penny finally dropped like the demon's fat ass, and that you were meant to actually avoid battling him straight away and go through the side door and get a little bit more powered up and literally get the drop on him later. But I bet you anything that nobody ever decided to go through that door firsthand. Number 3, taking the shield. Ghosts and Goblins. So, the Ghosts and Goblins franchise is pretty much at the head of the banquet dining hall table when it comes to franchises that love messing with their players. From disgustingly challenging bosses to pixel-perfect platforming, and of course, sentient logs that love switching direction midway through your jump. Thank you very much. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, I really needed that on my plate. It proves that this is a series that doesn't love just poking fun at the players, it pokes you in the goddamn eye, going, haha, do you like that? No, my retinas are gone. Thanks, mate. Brilliant, cheers, I can't see. Still, the original middle finger that we were told to swivel on was that of the Holy Shield troll that made its appearance in the very last level of the original NES experience. Now, throughout this game, aside from being taught all of the tonal differences and variation of saying the word bullshit over and over, you'll have had one hardcore message baked within your very soul. Something that rumour has it if you say in the mirror 3 times will summon the angry video game nerd to berate you with terrible special effects. And that is, get the knife. The knife weapon has a decent throw rate, hits for only slightly less damage than the lance, and will save your ass more times than you can count. Therefore, you begin to actively avoid other weapons whenever you see them drop, something which the Holy Shield weapon completely punishes. Because should you decide to forego picking up this Holy Shield weapon, which, lest we not forget, has terribly short range and really pitiful damage, and go on to complete the level, you'll be booted all the way back to the start of level 5. All because you made the decision to not pick up a shit weapon. Cheers, mate. Making this an error that you'll be sure to rectify on your next attempt, or at least that's what I'd say if I hadn't launched the console through the goddamn wall. And with a name like Holy Shield, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Slime Jesus himself had blessed it, but no, it was an instrument of the one and only, the unholy Beelzebub. My master, my lord, my saviour, you abandoned me in my time of need. What's that? Because you were busy designing t-shirts that are going to be on sale real soon. Okay, well, I'll let you off this time. Because I've seen the designs and they're pretty sick, actually. Anyway, at least he's given me one moment of radiant inspiration. He's shooting a lightning bolt in the top of my head, I'm imagining. Oh, I've got an idea. James, it's time for this week's musical interlude. And I think we're going to summon the unholy power of Beelzebub for this one, because we're going to do some hard rock / heavy metal. Let's get that knife.
Life is nice with the knife. Life is nice with the knife. But if the true ending you want to see, you will have to listen to me. For it depends on what you wield. Drop the knife and grab the shield.
That has totally tanked my voice now. Brilliant. Well worth it, James?
No.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Number 2, Save Catwoman, Batman, the Telltale series. Okay, so you might be looking at the title of this entry and saying, hang on a minute, you discount egghead villain. Of course, if there's an option to save Catwoman, I'm going to take it because I'm the bloody Batman. He might not go down on her, but at least he's not going to let her hit the deck. He's not going to leave his paramour in peril, right? Well, to that, I have 2 things to say. Firstly, lol, isn't it absolutely ridiculous that DC decreed that Batman is an absolute melt in the bedroom? And 2, yes, this was a choice, and yes, it was actively avoided. Ignore there too. I'm not actually just flipping you off like that. The issue is that in Telltale's Batman games, it made all the sense in the world to save Catwoman, but the alternative choice was so extremely powerful that it was almost impossible to refuse it. And we're talking, of course, about the moment in which Batman is told that he has the option to save Harvey Dent from getting his face irreparably scarred, thereby possibly averting his descent into madness and from ever becoming Two-Face. That, as you might expect from a character that's been a bit of a bat thorn in Batman's batside for absolutely bat decades, is a pretty big deal. It's just a shame that the game kind of just ignores it and just has him go down that road anyway, but he just looks more handsome now, which I guess is a plus. I mean, I made the decision. I don't regret it because at least the face of evil now is slightly more attractive, but at the same time, I'm in a bit of a difficult situation with Catwoman because rumour has it she holds a grudge, and now that I know that Batman can't make it up to her in the bedroom, that's going to be a grudge held for a long time. And number 1, upgrading the starter weapon, Ninja Gaiden. So here is a choice that I can say, honestly, hand on heart, that nobody made their first time around with Ninja Gaiden, because, quite frankly, why would you? The wooden sword weapon that you can buy in this game looks utterly useless, and while you can upgrade it, there's a lot of better things to be spending your money and indeed time on. I mean, there's a good chance that you buy the sword, as it's very rare for a game to offer up an option to buy anything that's completely useless, but it's only upon unsheathing this weapon and getting chopped into kindling yourself that you will likely relegate this sword to the weapons cabinet and said cabinet to the bloody skip. After all, this is Ninja Gaiden, a video game series that actively loves dragging its dirty balls up and down your face and then charging you for the privilege, so of course you're going to want to invest in the heavy weapons that actually, deal some fucking damage. But it's only after chewing down on this broken glass with oatmeal experience that you will feel confident enough to give the wooden sword a bit more of a rub. And it turns out that it's utterly insane, becoming the best weapon in the game and a weapon that you will kick yourself for not persevering with. Although, to be fair, that's easier said than done when you're trying to pull the splinters out of your ass. Yeah, this game's brutal. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game decisions that nobody made the first time around. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, as well as your suggestions for next week's episode down in there as well. I love reading all of them, and it is great to see the sort of interactivity and bounce that we have back and forth. Little jokes floating around there. Always like that. And if you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. That's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming outside of work, as well as some Warhammer battle reports. So if you're into that, then go check that out as well. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope that you are making the real important video game decision in real life, and that is being kind to yourself. You deserve the best things in life. Yes, you do, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, all right? You are a massive ledge. I believe that you are a brilliant person, and I want nothing but the best for you. I want you to go out there and absolutely smash your life goals today, because I believe in you, and you need to believe in yourself as well. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.